Awesome. Solar Icons family, welcome. I am really excited to introduce the man, the myth, the legend, my good friend, fellow business partner, Mr. Kevin Moeller. He is going to take us on yet another deep dive of our team's app through Energize. Super excited for it. He kind of teased earlier today in a private call what he was going to talk about, and it's going to be awesome. So Kevin, I'll move out of the way. The floor is yours, my friend.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Aaron and Energize team. It's great to be with you for another training, a deep dive into the different aspects that you have in your amazing technology stack. The reason I call it a technology stack is that there's so many pieces of technology built into one easy to use platform for everybody to go out there and be able to win big in your prospecting, which is what makes the business wheel go around in your business, right? Is sending out information, following up with qualified prospects, and teaching your team to do the same thing while developing your leadership in a way that will scale and duplicate with other people. I know I said that quickly, but that truly is the winning formula that it takes to win big, and you have everything that you need to win big. And what we're going to talk about today are the multiple ways to be able to add a contact to your technology stack. And why is that important? Because you may have contacts in different places. That's part of what we're trying to solve today, is so that you don't have contacts everywhere, right? An inefficient way, if you want to know how to do anything, one great thing that you can do to get some insight is study the worst way to do something and then just do the opposite, okay? So if you want to be just scattered all over the place, frazzled, contacts everywhere, then how would we do that? We'd have contacts on sticky notes. We'd have stacks of business cards. We'd have some information stuck in our car somewhere in the center console on scratch paper. We'd have a scratch pad at our desk, our office. We'd have a spreadsheet database full of old contacts. We'd have contacts everywhere. That's a great formula for getting scattered, right? And just feeling all over the place. What's the opposite of that? Having all your contacts in one place. And that is how you can become laser focused on your prospecting efforts. And I know, because I use this technology every single day to run multiple companies, and it makes my life so much more simple to be able to see what all my contacts are doing, be able to click a button, be able to talk to anybody I want to. When I hang up the phone, it asks me if I want to document the conversation and add notes. All the notes are searchable. So if I can't remember somebody's first name, but I remember I met them at Starbucks, I can put in Starbucks and it'll pop up anybody who has that in the notes section of their contact record. It makes my life so much more simple. Simple is efficient, and efficient is growing fast, right? So if you want to be organized in a way that is not technically challenging, where anybody can do it, that's what we're going to talk about today, is adding your contacts. Now, if you're brand new, obviously we're going to talk about adding your first contact. If you've been here for a while, using this since it's been rolled out, then we're going to talk about the multiple ways that you can add contacts to your device. So if you haven't done so already, go to the link at the bottom of these slides. As soon as you get off of today's training, download the application so you can start using it to build your business right out of the gate. So again, the challenge we've already pretty much talked about is not being prepared to prospect anytime, anywhere, not having a system in place, having too many systems in too many places. That's most common for most people. Not knowing where you met a prospect or when you should follow up with somebody. These are some of the challenges that happen day to day with other people, but not for you if you use this technology in the way that it was designed to help you to build. So again, the solution is the Energize app. Prospects are automatically added to your app, and I will share that with you at the beginning because you're not going to see it. But if somebody fills out a survey, it's not like you get an email with their contact information, so you have to go into the application and manually add them. They're automatically added. If somebody clicks on fills out some information on a referral page, you don't have to get the referral page in your email or a text message and then manually add them to the database. They're automatically added, which makes life so much more simple because they're already sitting there in your application ready for your next prospecting activity to lead them towards becoming a new customer or a new rep on your team. So there's an import feature, which you're going to see here in just a second, on how to import contacts that are already stored in your phone's contacts. There is the ability to hand somebody your phone where they can fill out their own information, so you don't have to ask them how to spell their name. They can just punch it in themselves. And there's a QR code feature, which allows you to be in front of multiple people at one time, show your QR code on your phone. They all can pull out their devices, look at it, hit a button, and download your contact information, right? We had Mr. Mitch Mallett talking about earlier. He's going to be talking to 50 real estate agents today. Well, instead of saying, hey guys, pull out your pen and paper, here's my contact information, you can say, hey guys, there's a QR screen on the screen behind me, pull out your phone real quick, and you can get my contact information along with more information about our business, right? That's how powerful this tech is. And then the fourth way to add somebody is if you do have a database, like a spreadsheet or an Excel file or something like that somewhere of some contacts. Why would that be important? Well, let's just say you join a networking group. BNI is very popular. You've probably heard of it at some point. If you're a part of a networking group like that and they send you a spreadsheet of the 25 people that are in the group, you could take those 25 people and add them to the application without having to punch all 25 in manually, which makes life so much more easy. And by the way, when you do that, you could even label them as BNI contacts. With one click of a button, they're all labeled as particular contacts, however you want to, right? Whether it's a list of real estate agents, a list of contractors, you name it, and you can do that. And again, there's some other features that we're going to show you in the application. But the last thing I want to point out before we talk about adding contacts is the hot prospect algorithm. What I want you to know is that this technology is built to be extremely complex and powerful, but easy to use. That's the most important part. There is a score that every contact that you have in the application receives, and it changes every single day. It fluctuates up and down because there's a smart algorithm that's running in the background that you don't have to control. You don't have to tell it to do it. It's doing it automatically. And it's scoring your prospects based on their likelihood of taking next steps with you to either want solar at their home or business, or to actually get started in the business with you. It's going to score them based on what they are doing and not doing and how much time it takes them to do things. So you just need to know that it's running, and it's super powerful. For an example, if you add a contact and you send them a resource, did they open the resource? Did they click on it? Did they watch a video? If they watch a video, they get a certain amount of points. If they watch over 90%, they get bonus points. If they've added to an email campaign and they opt in, they get points. If they opt out of an email campaign, it takes off points. If they watch less than 90% of a video, they don't get as many points. And if they haven't done anything in a day, every single day that goes by, it takes a sliver of their score off of their total score. So you always know, statistically speaking, who's your hottest prospect. Now, why is that important? Because you're going to focus your attention on the hottest prospects. You follow up with everybody. You follow up with everyone. However, if there's a hot prospect and there's somebody who's not even looking at what I'm sending, who do you think my next phone call should go to? The answer is both of them, but it's the hot prospect first, right? I want to talk to someone who wants to talk to me first, and then I'll follow up with somebody else to get more information in their hands. Does that make sense? So follow up with everyone, but use the technology in a way that can help you score your contacts so you know who's the smartest use of your time and who should be your first priority. Okay, so let's take the application for a quick test spin, look at the multiple ways to add somebody to your Energize app. All right, so here is, let me hit yes. All right, here is the Energize application. This is the home screen or the dashboard, whatever you want to call this. This is what you see when you log into the application. And the button that we're always going to click when we want to add a contact, with the exception of adding a spreadsheet, we'll cover that last, okay? But if you're going to add a contact to your technology stack here, you're going to click the plus person icon at the very bottom center of the screen, the little blue button with the plus person icon. We're going to click on that. And here we have two different ways that we can add a contact. The very top right one is the import feature. This is where you can add contacts from your phone. Now, I do not recommend adding every contact from your phone initially. I personally recommend adding the people that you are about to have a conversation with and prospect. Why? Because it's just not necessary to add 3,000 contacts before you talk to the first person. I'd rather add the next 5 or 10 people I'm going to talk to, prospect them, and then add some more and add some more. Does that make sense? That's my personal preference. Of course, you're a business owner. You can do whatever you want to do, but we're going to click the import feature. And in this example, I've got some demo accounts set up in here. So we're going to add these contacts. I've already added that one. So we're going to add these, right? These 4. Now at the top right, so you check the box of the contacts, all the contacts that you want to add. Again, I don't recommend adding them all. That's up to you. We're going to add these 4 contacts. I'm going to click the import button in the top right. And it says successfully imported 4 contacts. I'm going to click OK. And now those 4 contacts are right here, ready for me to prospect and start getting information into their hands and get resources for them to look at or events invited invitations to events for them. Okay. So what are other ways to add somebody? Well, if we click that plus person icon again, it takes us to this screen. Now, yes, of course, you can manually punch somebody's information in. You know, they say their first and last name, and maybe you don't know how to spell it. You can always hand them your phone, right? And have them actually manually punch that in. But what I want to share with you is down here, this spot for notes is so vitally important that you take a moment when you add a contact, especially if it's a prospect that you just met, and put a few notes, right? If I put met at BNI, he is a commercial contractor, former residential contractor, loves to golf, 5 kids, 1 in soccer, lives in Atlanta. And I hit continue, right? Well, I need to add his name. Bobby. All right, Bobby, there we go. Bobby. So I've got him saved, right? I could schedule a follow-up if I want to. I'm going to click not yet. But here's the deal. Let's just say that, let me sort by follow-up. Okay. So let's just say that I don't remember Bob's name, but I've got a database, and let's say it's hundreds and hundreds of people, or a year from now, maybe it's thousands of people, right? I can always click the search icon in the top right, and I can put in BNI, and look at that. He pops up. So maybe I don't remember his name, but I remember that I met him at BNI. Okay, so maybe I don't remember that, but maybe I remember that he was a contractor. Put in contractor, he pops up. Maybe I don't remember that, but I remember that I remember this prospect had a kid that plays soccer. I put in soccer. If I can spell soccer, there we go. And he pops up, right? This is the reason why your notes are so important. So you don't have to rely on your memory. You can rely on your database to serve your memory. Does it make sense? So that's how you can say you can add a contact. What's another way you can add a contact? Well, if you click on resources, you see the resources button in the bottom left. We click on that. At the very top, it says your business card. You see the QR code example. This is the page that you'll click on, and I'm going to click on it right now. It gives you a preview. So you click on the QR code. In this QR code, if someone was to point their phone camera at that, it would open up a link, and it would show them a link to my business card. So you can take this, you can download this, you can screenshot this, you can just show somebody on your phone, like we just pulled it up. I can show it to them if I'm in person of 3 or 4 different people. If I'm at a huge presentation and I've got a slide deck, I can add this to my slide deck at the end and say, view my digital interactive business card or get more information, right? I mean, that's a powerful way for somebody to be able to pull up your contact information and add themselves also to your database. So last but not least, we want to share with you is how do you actually add contacts if you have some type of Excel spreadsheet or something like that. Let me share my desktop screen again. Give me one moment to toggle screens over here to here. So if you go to my.rapidfunnel.com, you will see the screen that I'm showing you right now. And again, this is my demo account, but this is what you're going to see. You use the same login credentials that you did for the phone application. Will get you straight into this platform here. And if you click on contacts, okay, we're going to click on contacts now. From here, it gives you the opportunity to import from a CSV file. So that is where you can add your contacts. And when you add them from a CSV file, then you can also, when you go to upload them, you can choose if you want to label them. Now, we'll do a whole nother training on labels on another date, but it's really neat that you can take a batch of contacts and then you can label them why they're in a batch, right? This is a networking group you used to be a part of. These were people you used to work with in a former career. These were a list of customers, right? Maybe you bring me on board and I'm a contractor and I've got a list of every client I've ever built anything for the last 45 years. I can add them into my database with a few clicks of a button by clicking the import from a CSV file right from my.rapidfunnel.com. So with that being said, that's file. A CSV file is a type of file. So if you have any type of spreadsheet file you can think of, you can export that and save it as a CSV. It's a file type, just like Excel is a file type.
Got it.
So
Thank you.
that's absolutely, that's the type that you will add to the application here. So with that being said, let me share this again. We have a call to action, if you will, right? We don't want you just to get educated on this. We want you to use it to build your business. So the challenge, if you're willing to accept the challenge, let us know. Add 5 contacts that you intend on prospecting, label them, and plan how you're going to talk to those contacts. And if you're willing to add 5 new contacts that you're going to prospect in the next 24 hours, that means you're willing to accept the challenge, and we want to hear from you. So if you're on here live, put it in the chat, let us know. If you're watching this on replay, then send a message to the person who brought you this amazing opportunity and let them know that you are excited to add these contacts and to expose them the ways that we have shown here today. What we're going to talk about next week are the different ways to expose people, how to make a proper exposure, which is the most powerful fundamental that we can possibly talk about. And that's what we're going to share next week, including pre-written messages, how powerful those are, different categories and different resources within those categories that you can use to build your business. And last but not least, if you are enjoying using this application, we would love your review. So if you use your phone, just to show you how a QR code works in case you've never done it, open up your phone camera, point it to the screen. If you have an iPhone, point it to the left QR code. If you have an Android device, then point it towards the QR code on the right and leave a review. Our entire team loves to see how people are using this application, how it's helping them to build a bigger business. So with that being said, Aaron, comments, questions, examples, further training, anything you'd like to add, my friend?
No, man, I'm super excited. You killed it again. I actually, what I love about hanging out with you, man, I've been using the app for years. I learned something new every single time. I did not know the notes section is searchable. Like, oh my gosh, game over. I'll just add one quick story. I do notes just like him. He's a better writer than me. It's little bullets, if you will. There is nothing better. Let me rephrase this. Don't plan on the app being where you are today. Plan on a year from now. Plan on 3 years from now. If you just had added 2 people a day, I mean, you're now in the multiple hundreds, if not thousands. It is very, very hard to stay organized. So I teach people, I learned from Kevin, slow down to speed up. I add notes, Uber driver, bartender at this restaurant, met outside of a movie theater. You don't know how important that little nugget's going to be. And the reason I share that with you, I will wake up every single day to an email. It's my favorite email, and I hate email, from the app saying so-and-so just clicked on a video, so-and-so just watched a video. And every single time, almost every time, I'm like, who the hell is so-and-so? I have no idea. And so I'll click on it and they're like, Uber driver, bartender. Apparently I take a lot of rides and I go to bars. But those are the 2 most recent ones, right? And it pops up and all of a sudden it takes my mind there. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that person. Like, and then I'm all over it, right? So huge. And the fact that searchable, game freaking over. Game freaking over. We are going to open up to Q&A. I'm going to go ahead and end. Kevin, I appreciate you as always, brother. I cannot wait to have you back on next week. Please stick around. Hang on one second.